Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be your best self. Well, I've got an email here from a viewer, and what I really like about his email is that he wasn't focused on being the best version of himself. He basically totally lost his identity and who he was in a relationship. And his girlfriend of basically 4.5 years dumped him because he stopped being the guy that she fell in love with. He went through a difficult time, became depressed, stopped taking care of his body. He got himself into a fearful state, started fearing that he was going to lose her. He started trying to control everything in her life. And he literally drove her away to the point where she told him that she needed time and space away from him. And this is why I place such a huge emphasis on this in my book and in countless videos on why you need to focus on making yourself happy and making a great life for yourself so you can become a happy, whole, complete person, and then find somebody else who's also at the same place in their life where they're happy, whole, and complete, and together you can share your completeness. Because as soon as the power starts to flip and you start looking to that other person as being your source of happiness and your reason for living and all those sappy romantic things that you hear in songs and in the TV and movies all the time, it's just a matter of time before your lover gets tired of it and they no longer want to be with you. Because eventually they realize it's like no matter what they do or how they show up, you're still not happy. And in the beginning, for a while, they try to make you happy, but when they finally realize that it really isn't them or anything they're doing, it's a problem that you're having, the attraction level drops, and then they start telling you that they need time and space. It's just a bad way to go. And it's something I see a lot in my coaching practice. And again, that's why I place such a massive emphasis on this in my book and how you really need to take care of yourself first. You got to make sure that you're happy and you continue to take care of your body and you continue to do something for a living that you enjoy, because all these things sap your enthusiasm for life. They sap your enthusiasm for being happy and being in the relationship. And when you're not happy, after a while, it's like once you realize that other person can't make you happy, what starts to happen is you start to feel like, oh, fuck it. Why should I continue to court them and tell her I love her and take her out to dinner and be her knight in shining armor and go to the gym? And it's just, you totally get sidetracked and you're no longer the person that she fell in love with. It's a really bad way to go. And it's a common mistake a lot of guys make that leads to and women do the same thing, that leads to the end of their relationship. Because we all want to be with somebody who's happy, who's fun to be around, who has a life outside of ourselves. And when all that goes away, then you become needy and clingy and desperate, and it's just a bad situation. So I got a quote that I wrote on this topic, and then I'm going to go through his email. And the quote says, "Truth is self-evident. It needs no explanation or justification. It simply is. If you truly believe you are amazing, talented, magnificent, sexy, desirable, intelligent, successful, etc., then take actions that are congruent with these beliefs. Move through the world with a purpose and with the expectation that you can and will become these things in the future, even if you are not them presently. Successful people believe in themselves, their potential, and what they do not yet see. They have faith that through taking action, time, repetition, and refinement of one's approach, that they will eventually see what they have believed to be possible become their reality. Excellence is achieved through time and repetition. Believe in your grandest dreams and goals and take consistent, relentless action to make them a reality. When you live your life this way, becoming your best self and reaching your full potential is inevitable." It's a mindset of basically, hey, this is my fun bus and this is the direction I'm going in my life, and I would love it if you would come and join me on this journey. But if you don't, that's okay too. You don't show up and say, hey, this is my fun bus, but you know what? I'm going to make it your fun bus, so just tell me where you want to go and tell me what you need, and I'll focus on that and make you happy. Bad fucking way to go. So let's get into his email. He says, "Hey coach, my name," well, I'm not going to give you his name, but he says, "I just broke up with my ex under about 2 months ago with my girlfriend of 4.5 years. I began to develop severe depression progressing through while I was in college, and my life got to the point where I only depended upon her for my happiness." Well, once that happens, it literally is just a matter of time before she loses all interest and all respect for you and attraction, and then you get dumped. He says this dependence turned into neediness, desperation, and jealousy of things that were not worth being jealous over. I gained a lot of weight through this time period and began to become extremely unattractive through my behavior and appearance. It's like you basically didn't love yourself, and since you didn't love yourself and you didn't think you were worthy, and you realize that deep down your girl is not making you happy, that you were an unhappy person, you figured, you know what, fuck going to the gym. I'm going to have some beer and pizza tonight. You know what, I'm going to get those fucking wings. Let's get that fried chicken. It's just it's a slow spiral. Your girl will love you through it for a period of time, but when you don't get yourself out of that funk, eventually she's going to give up. He says she stayed with me for a long time after this because she genuinely loved and cared for me, but eventually it became too much. Well, it sounds like she was a good girl. In fact, she stayed with you all the time. She was hanging in there. He says, I tried to control everything in her life and my life because I was anxious and afraid on how we were going to make it together. I pushed too hard because I put too much pressure on myself to make sure we were successful, and I forgot to sit back, relax, and enjoy life as it comes. In other words, you didn't stay in the present moment either. You were so worried on what may or may not happen in the future that you stopped taking any action at all and focusing on the things that were most important. It's like Dale Carnegie said, inaction breeds fear and doubt. Taking action breeds confidence and courage. I mean, there's going to be things that are going to happen in life, and you're going to become fearful, you're going to become afraid. But the worst thing that you can do is to stop taking action towards the things that you want to create. Because when you do that, when you're not taking any action, you're not going to get any kind of results, especially results that you desire, which just makes things worse. It becomes a vicious cycle. He says she now expresses that she needs space and time and that she does not feel the same anymore. I gave her a letter a week after the initial breakup in order to communicate in a less emotional state, to clarify what I believe went wrong and that I'm sorry for what happened. I declared that I do not want to be friends because I only want a romantic relationship with her. And I ended the message with, if you ever change your mind, let me know. I adore you and want you in my life. Since this, I have not contacted her. Well, as a man, that's a statement of your purpose. You declared, this is what I want. But if you can't give that to me, oh well, give me a call if you change your mind. It's like the fun bus stops and she's dithering and she's like, I don't know if I want to get on your fun bus. Or she gets off and you're standing there waiting for her. You say, hey, you know what? Well, this is the way I'm going. If you ever want to meet up with me in the future, get in touch. You don't sit there and you wait on her to make a decision. You have to go on with your life whether she chooses to be in it or not. Sitting around waiting on her or saying, you know what, I think I'll just call and pursue her and continue to reach out. You wouldn't be congruent with that statement. You told her to get in touch if she changes her mind. In other words, you said, I'm not waiting for you. I want you, I adore you, but I'm not waiting. Because if you're not congruent with that statement, how can you possibly expect her to trust your masculine core and even want to consider getting back together with you? It's not going to happen. He says, since the breakup, I've lost around 15 pounds and counting, and I've regained my identity and confidence. Well, that's good. That's definitely a positive step. He says, I feel great about myself, and I'm enjoying life again. I still miss her, and I have strong feelings for her, and I want to be able to show her the new me. That's approval-seeking behavior. That's an approval-seeking mindset. In other words, it sounds like you're really focused on doing this stuff because you're thinking, oh, this is what Corey told me to do, and this is what I need to do to get her back. Well, if you get her back under those terms, eventually you're going to go right back to being lazy as soon as you think you got her again. And that's going to be a fear that she's going to have as she gets back together with you, that you're not doing the stuff for yourself, that you're really doing it just to please her. And that's not attractive. Women can see right through that bullshit. He says, I made these changes because I needed to in order to be happy with myself, but I fear she will assume I am wanting to change for her rather than myself. Again, that's why you need to be doing this for yourself, whether she chooses to be with you or not, whether you hear from her again or not. It really doesn't matter. You either get her back or you'll find somebody better for you. He says, due to our group of friends and situations, I am unable to present myself around her in any situation unless I ask her to meet. So in other words, he's thinking, I learned all this stuff, I learned how I need to show up, and now I want her to see that I've changed so she'll want me back. You're totally in the mentality of, I got to prove myself to her. You won't be successful with that mentality. This is a guy that's focused on the quick fix. You're not doing the things long term. You're just like, okay, well, this is what Corey told me to do, and this is a strategy to get her back. So I'm just going to focus on this. But as soon as you get her back, you go right back to your old ways, and she'll get turned off for the same exact reasons. He says, I know your videos say to never chase and hold the line, but I fear. He's totally full of fear, dude. What you fear, you attract. So in other words, since you're afraid she's not going to come back and you've turned her off completely, you figure, hey, if I just chase her and pursue her, maybe I'll get her to change her mind. It's not going to work, dude. He says, I know in your videos say to never chase and hold the line, but I fear that she will never get to see the new me unless I make the first step. That's what, 3 times in this email? He's worried about causing her to say, hey, look at me, look at how I've changed. Total weak beta male mindset, dude. You're not going to be successful thinking like this. He says, I've been complimented on how I look, and everyone asks, where did all this confidence come from? Great, you should be using that to date new women and meet new women. Because when she sees and hears, if she ever sees you again, but if you got mutual friends, she'll hear about the fact, oh yeah, he was with this really hot girl the other day. Oh wow, he looks great. He's lost 20 pounds. He's going to the gym. He looks happy. He's having a good time. He's not talking about you, crying over the blue. Oh, I want her back. Especially like when you're around these other people, these mutual friends, never ask about her. If your friends ask her, hey, if you talk to someone, say, no, hey, it didn't work out. We had a great run of 4.5 years. I wish her all the best. You know, I told her the door is open if she changes her mind, but hey, it is what it is. I'd love to work things out, but hey, you know, it takes 2 to tango. And bottom line is, I'm taking care of business. I'm taking care of myself. And quite frankly, I just want to move on with my life. So let's talk about something different. That's how you handle it with your friends. Because a lot of guys think, oh, if I just talk to all these people that we know, it'll get back to her. Well, when you're talking about her and you're constantly asking about her, and like, yeah, we hung out, we had a few beers the other night for 3 hours. All he did was talk about how much he misses you and how sad he is and how depressed he is and how he's desperate to get you back. And that's not going to help you. It's not going to make you look good. But if the perception gets back to her that you've moved on, you're dating, and you're having fun regardless, and that you're not interested in talking about the past, she's going to think, maybe I was too hasty in breaking up with him. And if she cares about you in any way, shape, or form, she's not going to let you go for good. She's going to find a reason to get in touch with you, and that's what you want. He says, I want to share this with her, and I want to have her see the new me and build that attraction. Again, that's the 4th fucking time that you're focused on approval-seeking behavior. He says, do I keep waiting just like you suggest in your videos? Or do you think it is worth it in this specific situation to somehow reach out and create the opportunity for her to see the new and worthy me? Oh, now I'm worthy of her. Dude, I've done hundreds of videos on this fucking topic. I've written a book. Why on earth do you think I would be incongruent with the things that I say? It's not going to happen. You, on the other hand, want to be weak, and you want to be incongruent with the words that you told her, which is, hey, if you change your mind, get in touch with me. That's what you need to do. The strongest negotiating position is being able to walk away and mean it. She's the one who unilaterally said, that's it. I don't want to work out anymore. I don't want to date you anymore. I don't want to see you anymore. I don't want to spend any time with you anymore. I need time and space. That's what she told you. She said, I need space. Give me space. You're smothering me. She's basically saying, leave me alone. Remember, it's a scientific fact that women are more attracted to men whose feelings are unclear. And like I said, if there's any bit of attraction level, if on a scale of 1 to 10 her attraction is still a 5, you will hear from her. Maybe in a few weeks, maybe in a few months, maybe in a year. But if it's below that, you'll never hear from her again. And you need to proceed as if it's over and you'll never hear from her again. If she reaches out to you and says something like, hey, I heard you lost a bunch of weight and you're looking really good and you're in great shape and you seem to be really happy, I just wanted to let you know that I think that's awesome and I'm really happy for you. Hope you're well. You should assume if she sends you any kind of message that what's really going on is deep down she's thinking about you and she's not so sure that she wants you out of her life forever. So you should assume, just like I talk about in the book and countless videos, that if she's reaching out, she wants to see you. And then your response to that should be, yeah, I'm really working out a lot, I lost a bunch of weight, I feel really good, things are going great, I'd love to see you. When are you free to get together? Create an opportunity for sex to happen. Make a date at your place. Remember, she ditched you, therefore she's got to come to you. So you say, why don't we get together and make dinner at my house and we can catch up? Maybe have a glass of wine or some coffee or tea or whatever it happens to be. You don't have to be an alcohol drinker. But the point being is you're not going to go anywhere. You're not going to pick her up. You're not going to drive to her or nothing. If she wants to see you, invite her over to your place to make dinner together. Hang out, have fun, and hook up just like I talk about in my book. That means if you get together, don't start talking about the relationship or getting back together or locking her down to a commitment. You got to look at it as the courtship is brand new. It's just like a first date with somebody you've never met before, because you don't get any credit for what you did in the past. The only thing that matters is what you do from this point forward. And so that's why it's so important. That's why I say hang out, have fun, and hook up, because that needs to be your focus, is having fun, getting her to laugh again, to see the fact that you're happy and having a good time. You'd love for her to be in your life, but you're not going to run after her. So again, she comes over, you hang out, you have fun, you hook up. When the signs are there that she's ready to be kissed and touched, make your move. And again, I go over extensive detail in this in my book. It's really simple. But if she says, you know what, why don't we meet out? Let's meet up for a drink. Or, hey, a bunch of us are going out. Why don't you just meet up with us? Just say, no, this is the excuse that you give her. It's been a long week, and I'm just in the mood to hang at my place. If you don't want to come over and have a nice quiet evening, then give me a call in 2 to 3 weeks, and maybe I'll be up for something more formal then. And one or two things will happen. She'll back up and go, no, it's okay. Well, when are you free? Well, I can do Thursday. Okay, great. What time? 8 o'clock my place. Awesome. Okay, I'll see you there, honey. Or she'll say, okay, yeah, we'll do it some other time. If she says, yeah, we'll do it some other time, guess what? She wasn't at the point where she was ready to actually spend time with you. But you got to be congruent. You got to stand up for yourself. The only way she's going to be able to earn you back, because that's the mindset you need to have, not this fucking beta male approval seeking, oh, I'm going to win her back and I want to prove to her that I've changed bullshit. She has to earn you back because she ditched you. She kicked you out of her life. Therefore, she must earn you back, and the way she does that is coming over to your place, hanging out, having fun, and hooking up together, making dinner at your place. And for the first 2 to 3 dates, she needs to come to your place. And if she comes over and you hang out, have fun, and hook up, then after 2 or 3 dates, then you can start picking her up and going places with her and dating and those kinds of things. Don't be doing any group dates or any kind of shit like that. When you start seeing her again, even if she says, let's get together in a group of friends, say, you know what, things are still new between us. Let's just really, you and I, go out and focus on having a good time together, and so we don't have any friends or people interfering in what we have. But once you become exclusive again, when it's her idea, she'll bring it up, then you can go and start doing group dates and all those kinds of things again. Create an opportunity for sex to happen. Rinse, recycle, repeat. It's really that simple. So if you'd like to get my help personally, the quickest way is to book a paid phone, Skype, or email coaching session. You can choose any of those options by going to my website, clicking the products tab at the top of your screen, and just follow the instructions for booking whichever option works best for you. And I will talk to you soon.